Not the soft kind of silence that feels peaceful, but the heavy, dangerous kind that makes a person feel like the whole world is holding its breath. Nothing moved except the wind, carrying thin waves of dust across the endless sand. The sun hung above like a burning coin, turning everything into gold, heat, and pain. Ryan walked alone through that silent desert. He had been walking for hours, maybe days. In a place like this, time felt strange. His legs shook under him with each step, and sweat dried on his face the moment it appeared. His survival suit protected his skin from the worst of the sun, but even then he could feel heat pushing through the fabric like angry fingers. His water pack was light, too light. He tapped it with a finger. It made a small hollow sound. That was not good. Ryan wasn't a soldier. He wasn't a hero. He was just an explorer, one man with old gear, a dusty backpack, and a small dream of finding something valuable in these ruins, something to sell, something to survive. All he wanted was a better life. The desert, however, wanted something else from him. He stopped for a moment and looked around. Broken towers stood in the distance, their edges sharp like broken teeth. Massive stone pillars leaned at strange angles, half buried in sand. These ruins once belonged to a powerful alien civilization, a dragon-like species that disappeared long before humans even landed on this planet. Some people believed treasures were still hidden here. Others believed curses guarded them. Ryan didn't believe in curses, but he did believe in dehydration, heatstroke, and death by thirst. He reached for his canteen and took the smallest sip possible. His throat felt like dry paper. The water tasted like metal, but it kept him alive, for now. He closed the lid tightly. One mistake in the desert and he would join the ruins forever. Ryan took another step forward and froze. A sound. A tiny sound so soft that he almost thought it was the wind, but it wasn't the wind, it was crying, a thin, shaky voice not far away. Ryan's hand automatically went to the small pulse pistol strapped to his hip. Raiders were common in old ruins. Scavengers. Hunters. Sometimes even lost soldiers turned to violence to survive. And when someone cried in a place like this, it was usually a trap. He crouched low and listened. There it was again. A weak little sound, almost like a whimper. Ryan slowly approached the nearest broken pillar. The heat blurred the air, making everything ripple. He scanned the sand carefully. No footprints, no shadows. Then he heard it one more time, closer. His instincts screamed at him, turn back. Ignore it. Go. But something inside him did not let him leave. Maybe it was the loneliness of the desert. Maybe it was the human heart refusing to let someone suffer. Maybe it was just curiosity. Whatever it was, Ryan moved toward the sound. He stepped behind a fallen stone wall, and there, under the shadow of an old carved statue, he finally saw the source of the crying. It was a child, but not a human child. A small dragon kid. Its skin was pale blue with tiny silver scales that shimmered under sunlight. Its ears were long and thin, shaped like little wings. Its eyes were big, full of fear and exhaustion. A small tail curled beside it, covered in dust. And in its tiny trembling hands the kid held a cup, a cracked little cup, barely holding together. It looked up at Ryan with broken hope. "Please, sir," the kid whispered, voice shaking. Just one sip of water. Ryan felt something hit his chest, a feeling he wasn't ready for. The kid looked half dead, barely breathing, like it had been wandering the desert longer than he had. But Ryan's water was almost gone. One wrong decision could end his life. He took a slow breath. "Where's your family?" he asked. The dragon kid lowered its head. "Gone," it whispered. "They ran, hunters came, I got lost." Hunters. Ryan's stomach tightened. Sand hunters were the worst kind of danger, part raider, part killer, part desert ghost. They captured small dragonlings to sell as exotic pets or for darker reasons. They were ruthless and they always hunted in groups. If this kid was alone, those hunters might be nearby. Ryan looked around the horizon. Sand shifting, heat rising, nothing else. He turned back to the kid. It seemed so fragile, so weak. "Please," the dragon child said again. "Just one sip is enough." Ryan's hand hovered over his canteen. He knew the smart thing, give nothing. Walk away, survive, but his heart didn't listen. He knelt slowly, the sand burning under his knees. He unscrewed the canteen lid. The dragon kid's eyes widened, full of shock, as if it didn't believe anyone would help. Ryan tilted the canteen carefully. A drop of water fell. The kid held the cup under it with both hands. But then Ryan did something unexpected. Something even he didn't plan. He didn't give the kid one sip. He gave the whole canteen. He placed it down in front of the child and pushed it gently. The dragon kid gasped softly, shaking. "F for me, all of it." Ryan nodded. The kid drank carefully, slowly, as if afraid the water might vanish. Each sip seemed to bring life back into its small body. Its scales glowed a little brighter, its breathing steadied. For a moment the desert didn't seem so cruel. Ryan felt something warm in his chest, a strange feeling, pride, peace, humanity. But the moment did not last. A deep rumble rolled across the sand. Ryan stiffened. The ground trembled lightly beneath his boots, then another rumble, louder. The dragon kid dropped the canteen and pressed itself against the stone wall, terrified. "No, no," it whispered. "They followed me." Ryan's heart raced. He stood and scanned the horizon. The sunlight shifted and he saw movement, dark shapes far away, gliding across the sands like hungry shadows. Sand hunter skiffs, 3 of them coming fast. Ryan cursed under his breath. They must have been tracking the kid for hours, maybe days. Maybe the kid had escaped once, but hunters never gave up. Ryan grabbed the kid's arm. "Can you walk?" he asked quickly. The kid nodded, trembling. "Then move." They ran, sand flying behind them, heat clawing at their backs. The ruins towered overhead, offering a maze of shadows and broken corridors, dangerous but better than open land. Ryan pulled the kid behind a tall, broken statue. The rumbling grew louder. Engines roared. Sand kicked up into the sky as the hunter skiff slowed near the ruins. Ryan peeked from behind the statue. His heart stopped. The sand hunters were not just raiders. They were huge, tall, armored aliens with horned helmets and long rifles. Drones floated beside them, glowing red and scanning the area. One drone turned toward Ryan's hiding spot. The beam of red light slid across the sand, closer, closer. Ryan pressed the kid to his chest, both of them barely breathing. The drone hummed, stopped, turned, and hovered directly above their hiding place. Ryan's pulse pounded in his ears. If it scanned them, if it alerted the hunters, they were dead. The drone beeped once, a long, sharp beep. The hunters turned their heads. They were looking straight in Ryan's direction. Ryan tightened his grip on the kid. "I'm sorry," he whispered, voice barely audible. "I should have left you, but I couldn't." The dragon kid shook its head weakly. "No, you saved me. You're a good human." The drone shifted again, scanning harder, brighter. The red light grew stronger. Ryan closed his eyes, and then the ground shook beneath them, louder than before. Behind them, a hidden stone door trembled as if something inside was waking up. The dragon kid turned toward the door, eyes wide. "No, not now," it whispered. "They will all come." Ryan had no idea what that meant. But he was about to find out, because behind him, inside the ruins, something ancient began to glow. And outside, the hunters raised their weapons. The desert was silent no more. The hidden stone door behind Ryan cracked open with a deep grinding sound, like ancient bones shifting after centuries of sleep. Sand sprinkled down from the top as the gap widened, releasing a faint beam of blue light onto the dusty ruins. Ryan blinked at the sudden glow. The dragon kid's small body stiffened. "They found it," the child whispered, voice trembling. Ryan frowned. "Found what?" Before the kid could answer, the drone above them suddenly shrieked, a loud metallic alarm. Its red eye flashed violently, locking onto Ryan's position. The sand hunters shouted in their harsh alien language. Footsteps thundered across the sand. Ryan grabbed the dragon kid's hand. "Inside, now." He pushed the child toward the glowing doorway. The kid hesitated, fear or memory, but one look at the approaching hunters changed everything. They both slipped through the narrow opening and the heavy stone door began to close behind them. Boom, boom, boom. Something slammed against the outer side of the door only seconds after they entered. The hunters were trying to force their way in. Ryan pressed his back against the wall, breathing hard. The dragon kid hugged his arm, shaking. The door sealed shut with a final heavy thud, blocking out all sound from outside. For a moment, everything fell silent again. But it was not a peaceful silence. The air inside the secret chamber was strange, cooler but heavy with old energy. Blue symbols flowed like veins across the walls, glowing faintly and pulsing like slow heartbeats. The floor was smooth stone, carved with patterns that Ryan didn't recognize. He raised his flashlight and scanned the room. "Where are we?" Ryan whispered. The kid swallowed hard. "My ancestors built this place long ago." Ryan stared down at the child. "Your ancestors?" The dragon kid nodded. "This is the inner path. Only my kind can open it." Ryan's mind spun. He knew dragons once lived on this planet, but humans had never found proof of advanced structures, only ruins half broken by time. Yet this chamber looked almost alive, and the ground trembled again. But this time it wasn't from outside. It came from deeper within the tunnels. A low hum began vibrating through the stone, a sound both peaceful and terrifying. Ryan took a step back. "What, did we just wake up?" The kid didn't answer. It looked too afraid to speak. The blue symbols brightened one by one, spreading down the hall like a lighting sequence, welcoming them or warning them. Ryan knelt to the kid's level. "Listen, do you know a safe place inside here? Somewhere we can hide from the hunters?" The kid looked toward the glowing hallway. "No hiding," the child whispered. "We have to move forward." Ryan didn't like the sound of that. "Forward into what?" he asked. The dragonling didn't know either. But the hunters were pounding on the other side of the sealed door. The heavy stone shook with each impact. They would break through soon. Ryan tightened the strap on his backpack. He checked his pistol, only a few energy cells left. He was exhausted, thirsty, and carrying a child who weighed almost nothing yet felt heavy with responsibility. Forward was the only choice. "Stay close," he said. They walked deeper into the glowing corridor. Star the Hall of Echoes, the tunnel seemed endless, yet Ryan felt like he was going downward. The light grew brighter as they walked, and strange whispers filled the air, echoing from the walls like ghostly memories. The Dragon Kid touched the wall gently. "These are spirit echoes," the child whispered, "voices of the past." Ryan felt a chill. You can understand them, only a little. The voices weren't words, more like soft humming or sighs, yet they gave the air a feeling of sadness and warning. After several minutes, the tunnel opened into a wide circular chamber. A platform stood at the center, surrounded by floating blue stones rotating slowly like tiny moons. Above the platform hung a sphere of pure light, swirling gently as if alive. Ryan's mouth fell open. "What is this?" The Dragon Kid stepped forward. "A memory core," the child said softly, "a piece of my people's history." As the kid approached, the floating stones moved aside, opening a path. Ryan watched, stunned. The memory core responded to the child's presence. The sphere pulsed once, and an image erupted from it like a hologram. Ryan shielded his eyes. The chamber filled with a projection of an ancient city, tall towers, glowing streets, thousands of dragons flying in the sky, living their peaceful lives. Ryan whispered, "This world looked beautiful." The Dragon Kid's eyes shone with tears. It was. The image shifted suddenly. Shadows covered the city, explosions, fire, armored creatures attacking raiders from the desert long ago. Ryan watched dragons fall, families running, children screaming. The city collapsed in flames. The projection vanished. Ryan stared at the kid. "So your people were wiped out?" The child nodded slowly. "The Sand Hunters, they came long ago. They wanted our energy, our knowledge. Only a few dragon clans survived, hiding in the mountains. I was from the last tribe." Ryan's chest tightened. "You're the last of your kind." The dragonling trembled. "My family sent me to find another clan, but the hunters found us first." "My parents," the kid's voice broke. "They told me to run. I ran until I had no water left." Ryan swallowed hard. He realized something then. Giving the child his whole canteen wasn't just kindness. It was saving the last spark of an entire species. Before Ryan could speak, the memory core flashed again, this time red and violent. Warning symbols filled the chamber. The Dragon Kid gasped. They broke through the first door. Ryan pulled the child behind him. "How far? How much time do we have?" The kid listened to the vibrations in the floor. "Less than a minute." Ryan cursed. He always hated being right. A stone panel slid open on the far side of the chamber, revealing a downward stairway filled with shadows. "This way," the child cried. Ryan didn't argue, they ran. Star the lower catacombs, the stairs spiraled downward and the air grew colder. The walls changed, less smooth, more ancient. Strange markings glowed faintly, telling stories Ryan couldn't read. They reached the bottom and entered a huge catacomb filled with tall stone pillars and glowing pools of liquid light. "What are these?" Ryan whispered. The Dragon Kid crouched near one. "Memory pools, they store thoughts, feelings from long ago." Ryan frowned. "This whole place is alive." Before the kid could respond, footsteps echoed above, heavy ones, fast ones. The hunters had found the entrance to the chamber. Ryan tightened his grip on his pistol. The kid tugged his sleeve. "Come, there is one more place we must reach." "Another memory room?" The child shook its head. "No, something stronger." They hurried across the catacomb toward a tall archway, but as they reached the center, a loud crack split the air. A drone dropped from above. Its red eye glowed. It shrieked in alarm. Ryan fired his pistol. The shot hit the drone but only cracked its shell. It darted toward the Dragon Kid. Ryan jumped in front, shielding the child. The drone fired a stun blast. Ryan grabbed a fallen stone shield from the ground and blocked it barely. His arms shook from the force. The kid cried out, "Ryan, I'm fine." He wasn't. He fired again, this time hitting the drone's core. The drone exploded in sparks and fell into one of the glowing pools, dissolving. But the explosion was loud, too loud. Footsteps thundered at the upper stairs. The hunters were here. Ryan grabbed the dragonling's hand. "We run, now." They sprinted through the archway. Star the heart chamber inside was a long hall leading to a giant circular room. The air felt thick and warm. A strange heartbeat thumped through the floor, slow and powerful. At the center of the chamber stood a tall stone column carved like a dragon twisting upward. At the top of the column glowed a bright blue crystal, the largest Ryan had ever seen. The Dragon Kid breathed out in awe. "The heart crystal." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "That sounds important." "It is. It holds the power of my people." Ryan approached slowly. "What does it do?" "It awakens the Guardian." Before Ryan could ask who the Guardian was, booming footsteps echoed behind them. The Sand Hunters had arrived. Ryan spun around as they marched through the archway, four of them, massive, armored, armed with long rifles and blades. The leader pointed at the Dragon Kid. "There, the last heir, take it alive." Ryan stepped in front of the child. "Over my dead body." The leader grinned under his helmet. "That can be arranged." The hunters charged. Ryan raised his pistol. It only had one shot left. He aimed at the heart crystal. The kid gasped. No, don't, Ryan fired. The shot struck the crystal. Blue light exploded outward, blinding and powerful. The entire chamber shook. The dragon statue cracked open, and something ancient began to emerge. The guardian, half-light, half-dragon. A towering spectral figure of pure energy. It roared, a sound that made even the hunters freeze. Ryan shielded the child with his arms. The guardian's voice boomed, "Who awakens the heart?" Ryan swallowed. "I did, to protect the last dragon child." The guardian turned its glowing eyes toward him. "You gave life when you had little to give." Ryan blinked. It was talking about the water. "You are chosen, human." The guardian raised a hand. A spear of pure light floated toward Ryan, the dragon-light spear. "Take it," the guardian commanded. Ryan reached out. The spear hummed in his hand, warm, powerful, alive. The hunters screamed and charged. Ryan stepped forward, spear glowing in his grip. He was no soldier, but in that moment he felt like something more, something ancient, something human, and he was ready to fight. The chamber shook as the guardian spread its giant wings of blue energy. Light poured from its form like burning stars. The sand hunters froze, their heavy boots scraping against the stone floor. Their armor vibrated under the pressure of the guardian's presence. Even the strongest among them hesitated. Ryan held the dragon-light spear in both hands. It felt warm, alive, like something breathing through him. Each pulse of the spear matched his heartbeat, filling his body with strange courage. The dragon kid stayed behind him, clutching Ryan's backpack straps tightly. Its eyes reflected the glowing blue light, wide with fear and hope at the same time. The lead sand hunter growled, raising a curved blade. "Guardian or not, the child is ours." He signaled with 2 fingers. 3 hunters charged. Ryan didn't move out of fear. He moved because the spear pulled him forward as if guiding him. He swung. A wave of blue light blasted out. It slammed into the first hunter and sent him crashing into a pillar. The stone cracked, dust exploding around him. The hunter groaned but didn't get up. Ryan blinked, shocked. "I did that?" The guardian's booming voice echoed through the chamber. "The spear responds to a worthy heart. Use it well." The other 2 hunters didn't back away. They fired. Twin beams of red plasma shot toward Ryan. He raised the spear instinctively. The energy beams curved around the spear's light and vanished. Ryan didn't understand it, but he didn't need to. He leaped forward again, the spear guiding him like a living instinct. Another sweep of the blade of light and the second hunter crashed to the ground. The third ducked, rolled, and fired again. This time the blast hit the ground right beside Ryan, shaking him off balance. Ryan stumbled and the hunter rushed in, grabbing him by the neck. "Human," the hunter snarled. "You interfere with what we hunt." Ryan choked, trying to lift the spear, but the hunter's grip was iron. Then a sharp cry split the air. The dragon kid leaped forward and bit the hunter's armored wrist. The hunter screamed, loosening his hold. Ryan broke free, spun, and thrust the spear forward. The blade of light struck the hunter's chest plate, cutting it like soft cloth. The hunter fell back, defeated. Ryan gasped for air, sweating and shaking, not from fear, from the power he just used. The guardian stepped forward, towering above the fallen hunters. "Enough." The remaining hunter, the leader, growled, clutching his weapon. He pointed at the dragon kid. "This is not over. The child carries blood worth more than gold, more than life. We will return." He threw a small metal sphere on the ground. Smoke exploded outward, thick and blinding. Ryan coughed, pulling the kid close. By the time the smoke cleared, the leader was gone. The guardian lowered its head. "The hunters will gather more. They will return with greater force." Ryan wiped dust from his face, breathing hard. "Then we have to leave." The dragon kid tugged at his sleeve. "There's a path," it whispered. "A deeper one, a forgotten route my ancestors used during the Great Escape." The guardian nodded. "Follow the ancient paths. They lead to the last refuge." Ryan adjusted his backpack and tightened his grip on the spear. "Where exactly is this refuge?" The kid pointed toward a dark tunnel at the far end of the chamber. "Across the underways. Beneath the desert, beyond the sleeping flame." Ryan frowned. "Sounds dangerous." The kid's tail curled nervously. "It is." Ryan sighed. "Of course it is." "Star, the descent begins." The tunnel beyond the heart chamber was narrow, carved long ago by dragon claws and ancient tools. Blue lights pulsed softly from the stone, lighting their way. Ryan walked with the spear glowing faintly, the kid beside him, silent and thoughtful. After several minutes, Ryan finally spoke. "Back in the fight, you helped me. You saved me, actually." The dragon kid looked down shyly. "You saved me first." Ryan smiled softly. "You're tougher than you look." The kid perked up a little. I can grow fire one day, real fire." Ryan chuckled. "Good, we might need it." The tunnel sloped downward sharply. The air grew cooler, damp, heavy. A faint humming echoed from the depths below. Ryan squinted. "What's that sound?" The kid shook its head. "Not sound, energy. The old pathways are waking up because you activated the heart crystal." Ryan felt a chill. That meant the hunters would sense it too. Star, the gate of echoes, the tunnel opened into another wide cavern. Dozens of large stone doors lined the walls, each covered in glowing symbols. Some hummed, others vibrated like giant sleeping beasts. Ryan stepped forward slowly. "What is this place?" The dragon kid spoke softly. "It's the Gate of Echoes. Every door leads to a memory or a danger." Ryan froze. "Wait, memory like dreams or memory like the past?" "Both," the kid whispered, "and neither." Ryan didn't like riddles, especially not magical ones. "Please don't tell me we have to go through one of these." The kid pointed to the largest door at the far end. "That one leads to the underways, the path to the refuge." Ryan nodded and walked toward the door when a low growl echoed through the chamber. Ryan stopped. The dragon kid's ears twitched. Something woke up. Ryan raised the spear. A shadow moved between the pillars, then another and another. Ryan's heart thudded. "Don't tell me," the kid whispered, trembling. "The keepers." Ryan blinked. "The what?" Before the kid could answer, a creature crawled into the light. It was large, twice the size of a human, covered in black stone armor grown from its skin. Its eyes glowed blue and its limbs were long and sharp. A living sentinel. "Guardian of the ruins," the kid whispered. "They protect the memories from intruders." Ryan groaned. "Great, I guess we look like intruders." The creature roared. "Oh yeah," Ryan muttered, "definitely intruders." The keeper charged. Ryan swung the spear. Blue light arced, hitting its armor and cracking it, but the creature didn't fall, it only grew angrier. Another rose from the ground behind them, then a third. Ryan's heart pounded. "Kid, how do we get past them?" The child backed away slowly. "We must open the Gate of Echoes, it will confuse them." "How?" The kid stared at the symbols. "I don't know, my parents never taught me." Ryan rubbed his forehead. "Perfect." The keepers roared again. Ryan grabbed the dragon kid and pushed him behind. "All right, stay low, stay behind me." He darted left as the first keeper struck, its claws shattering stone where Ryan had been standing. He slashed with the spear again, light exploding on impact. The keeper screeched. Another leaped toward him. Ryan rolled aside, barely avoiding the attack. The ground cracked beneath its weight. "Kid," Ryan shouted, "find a way, something, anything." The dragonling stared desperately at the symbols, trying to remember old teachings. The keepers closed in. Ryan's breath grew shorter. Sweat dripped down his face. His arms shook from blocking blow after blow. If the kid didn't open that gate soon, they were dead. The dragonling touched a pattern on the stone. Nothing happened. It touched another, still nothing. "Ryan," the kid cried, "I don't know it, you can do it." Ryan yelled back, blocking a keeper's swing. The kid trembled. "My mother told me the gate responds to truth, not knowledge." Ryan ducked another slash. "Well then tell it the truth." The kid placed both hands on the stone door. "I am the last child of the dragon clans." The kid whispered. "I seek refuge, safety, hope." The symbols flickered. One keeper knocked Ryan to the ground. His spear skidded away out of reach. He gasped for breath as the keeper raised its claws to finish him. At that exact moment, the gate exploded with blue light. A shockwave blasted across the chamber, throwing all the keepers backward. Ryan shielded his eyes. The door slid open silently. Ryan scrambled up, grabbed the kid's hand, and sprinted through the doorway. The door slammed shut behind them just as the keepers roared and struck from the other side. Silence returned. Ryan collapsed to his knees, breathing hard. The dragon kid hugged him tightly. "You're alive," it whispered. Ryan laughed weakly. "Barely." Star the underways, the new tunnel was different, colder, darker, with strange glowing vines growing along the walls. The air felt ancient, as if no being had walked here for centuries. Ryan stood up, wiped his forehead, and lifted the spear again. "So this leads to the refuge." The dragon kid nodded slowly. "Yes, but the path is long." Ryan sighed. "I figured." They walked deeper. The tunnel twisted like a serpent. Whispering winds echoed through narrow passages. Strange runes lit up under their feet, and somewhere far behind them the hunters were still coming. The Guardian had warned them. This journey was far from over. But Ryan knew one thing: he wasn't just protecting a child now. He was carrying the last hope of an entire species. He tightened his grip on the spear. "Come on, kid," he said softly. "We survived together." And together they walked deeper into the dark. The underways felt endless, dark tubes curving beneath the ancient world like the veins of a sleeping giant. Ryan moved carefully, every sense alert. The air here felt dense, too dense, as if the weight of thousands of forgotten years pressed down on every breath. The blue vines glowing softly on the walls were the only light guiding them. Ryan reached out and touched one gently. It pulsed like a heartbeat. The dragon kid kept close to him, tail dragging lightly on the floor. Its silver-blue scales shimmered faintly in the dark, reflecting the vine's glow. Ryan stopped. "You okay?" he asked. The kid nodded, though its voice was quiet. "These tunnels, I heard stories. My elders said this place holds memories, but also spirits." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Spirits as in real ghosts?" The kid shrugged nervously. "Spirits as in old things that remember too much." Ryan didn't like that answer, but the Guardian had ordered them to travel this way, so he kept moving. They walked deeper until the tunnel widened into a grand corridor lined with giant stone faces. dragon faces carved into the walls. Their eyes glowed with ancient energy, watching silently. Ryan slowed. Feels like they're staring through my skull. They are watching, the dragon kid said softly. They judge who deserves to enter. Ryan swallowed. Well, let's hope they approve. They reached the end of the corridor where a massive stone archway stood. It was carved in the shape of wings stretching upward, forming a half-circle. Strange runes covered its surface, glowing white and blue in gentle waves. The kid approached carefully. This is the gate of the ancients. Ryan frowned. So how do we open it? The kid placed its hand on the runes. You have to show the gate your truth, not your power. Ryan groaned inside. Why is everything down here philosophical? The kid smiled shyly. Dragons did not build with bricks, they built with meaning. Ryan stepped forward slowly, placing his hand beside the kid's. The stone froze for a moment. Then the glow shifted, becoming red. The dragon kid gasped. No, the gate doesn't accept you. Ryan stepped back in shock. Why not? What did I do wrong? The kid stared at him, eyes trembling. It doesn't see your heart, it sees your fear. Ryan clenched his jaw. He didn't want to admit it, but fear clung to him like dust. Fear of death, fear of failing, fear of not being enough to protect this child. Ryan breathed out slowly and placed his hand again on the gate. But this time he didn't think about danger or failure. He thought about the moment he gave the kid his entire canteen. The moment the child clung to him in the ruins. The moment he stood between them and the hunters. The runes flickered. The gate hummed. Red softened into soft blue. The stone wings on the arch shifted, slowly opening. You did it, the kid whispered, amazed. Guess I still have a good heart buried somewhere, Ryan muttered. The gate opened fully with a deep rumbling, revealing a massive chamber beyond. Far inside the temple core, they stepped inside, and Ryan's breath caught. The chamber was enormous. Huge pillars carved like spiraling dragon bodies climbed all the way to a ceiling glowing with star-like crystals. The floor shined like polished stone, reflecting light in rippling patterns. In the center, a raised platform held a glowing circular pool, a swirling mixture of blue and gold energy. What is that? Ryan whispered. The soul basin, the kid answered. It holds the last memories of our people. Ryan stepped closer. You mean all the dragon clan's history is inside that? Yes, the basin saved everything the day our world fell. Ryan stared at the glowing pool. He felt something pulling at the back of his mind, like warm fingers brushing memories he didn't have. Suddenly, a ripple moved across the basin's surface. The light swirled faster. Then, rising upward from the pool, a giant figure formed made entirely of light, another dragon. But unlike the guardian, this one seemed peaceful, calm, wise. Its wings floated like mist. The dragon lowered its head toward them. Welcome, last child. The dragon kid trembled. You know me. The spirit nodded. We know all who carry the ancient blood. Ryan lifted the spear instinctively. The spirit looked at him. And you, human, the one who gave water in the desert. Ryan blinked. Is that seriously going to be my title forever? The spirit chuckled softly. A simple act can change fate. You poured life when you had little to give. This is the heart of all guardians. The dragon kid stepped forward. Spirit of the basin, the hunters are following us. The keepers are awake. The desert is no longer safe. The spirit's glow dimmed slightly. The hunters grow stronger. They seek the relics of our kind. The weapon you hold is only the first. Ryan frowned. There's more relics, more weapons. The spirit nodded. Yes, but they are hidden deeper, protected by trials few survive. Ryan sighed. Let me guess, dangerous. The spirit's eyes flickered warmly. Only to those without courage or without purpose. The kid looked back at Ryan. We need them. If the hunters gather all relics, they will become unstoppable. Ryan rubbed his forehead. So we're collecting ancient magical dragon weapons now, just like that. The spirit leaned close. It is not a weapon alone, it is a bond. The dragon spirit turned to the child. Little one stepped forward. The kid hesitated but obeyed. A small beam of golden light touched the child's forehead. The basin pulsed. The chamber shook. Ryan stepped back. What's happening? The dragon spirit spoke softly. I give the child a piece of our ancestors' memory, guidance for the journey ahead. The dragonling's body glowed slightly. A new strength seemed to settle inside its eyes. When the light faded, the child swayed. Ryan grabbed them quickly. You okay? The kid nodded slowly. I know the path now. I know where the next relic is hidden. Ryan exhaled in relief. Good, let's get out of here before the hunters catch up. But the spirit's expression changed. Its glow darkened, its wings folded. Leaving won't be simple. Ryan's grip tightened on the spear. What now? The spirit turned toward the tunnel they came from. They are already here. Ryan froze. Then the sound hit them, a rising metallic whine, boots hitting stone, voices shouting in the hunter's harsh language. Ryan cursed under his breath. How did they get through the keepers so fast? The spirit lowered its head. They brought something terrible with them. A distant roar shook the floor. Another roar answered it. The kid grabbed Ryan's hand, terrified. What is that? The spirit's tone dropped to a deep, mournful warning. A devourer. Ryan didn't like how that sounded. What's a devourer? He asked. The spirit spoke slowly. A creature bred by the hunters, a monster that eats energy, life, memory. Ryan felt a cold shiver move down his back. Wait so it can eat you. The spirit nodded. Yes, and you must leave before it reaches the basin. If it consumes the memories here, all hope for our kind disappears. Ryan picked the kid up gently. All right, which way out? The spirit gestured toward a massive stone gate on the opposite side of the chamber, through the trial doors. Ryan groaned. I hate the names of everything in this temple. The kid whispered, it means we must face something before we can pass. Ryan sighed, of course it does. The temple shook again, dust rained from the ceiling, the roar grew closer. The spirit spread its wings of light. Go now, I will slow the devourer, but I cannot stop it forever. Ryan held the spear tightly. Kid, hold on, we're running. The child wrapped its arms around Ryan's neck. I'm ready. Ryan sprinted toward the trial doors as the spirit roared and the chamber filled with blinding light. The trial awaits as they reach the giant stone doors. They slowly slid open, revealing pitch-black darkness inside. Ryan whispered, this doesn't look like a fun place. The kid whispered back, it is the old way. You must pass and survive. Ryan stepped in. The doors slammed shut behind them, everything went dark. A cold wind blew across their faces, and then a voice deep, ancient, and everywhere at once spoke in the dark, to pass, show the truth of your heart. Ryan tightened his grip on the child. Here we go again, the next trial had begun. Ryan couldn't see his own hand, even with the dragonlight spear glowing faintly. The air inside this trial chamber felt cold and wet, as if the walls themselves breathed slowly. The dragon kid held tightly to Ryan's arm, trembling. Ryan, this place feels wrong. Ryan lifted the spear. Yeah, and something is watching us. A soft whisper floated through the dark, neither wind nor voice, but something in between. To pass, you must face the truth of your heart. Ryan tightened his grip on the spear. I've had enough of heart tests. The dragonling whispered, be careful. Trials don't judge your strength, they judge your fear. Ryan sighed. Fantastic, let's get this over with. Suddenly a blinding flash lit up the chamber. Ryan blinked rapidly. When his eyes adjusted, he froze. The chamber had changed. He was standing in the desert, the same desert where he first met the dragon kid, except the sun was gone, the sky was black, the sand was cold as ash. Ryan's heartbeat quickened. This isn't real, right? No, the dragon kid whispered. The trial creates illusions, but illusions that feel real. Ryan turned in circles, scanning the lifeless desert. Then he saw it, a small figure kneeling in the sand, thin, weak, trembling, the dragon kid, another version of it. The second version lifted its tiny cup, lips cracked and bleeding, voice hoarse. Please, sir, just one sip of water. Ryan's breath caught. No, he whispered. This isn't happening again. The illusion child looked up with hollow eyes, eyes filled with abandonment. You can walk away, it whispered. You can choose yourself. You can survive alone. Ryan's throat tightened. The trial was not testing his courage, it was testing his choice. Would he still choose the child, even knowing the danger, the hunters, the suffering? The real dragon kid tugged Ryan's sleeve. Ryan, don't listen to it. But the illusion spoke again. If you save me, you will die. The wind howled. The sand shifted into shapes, dark shadows of hunters, keepers, and monstrous creatures Ryan had fought. All of them pointed at him. All of them whispered, your kindness will kill you. Ryan's heart raced. He remembered almost dying many times because he protected the child. He remembered fear, pain, exhaustion, and yet he looked down at the real dragon kid holding onto him. Big eyes, hopeful eyes, alive eyes. Ryan knelt and cupped the kid's cheek. I didn't save you because it was safe, he whispered. I saved you because it was right. Lightning cracked across the illusion sky. Ryan lifted the spear and pointed it at the illusion child. You're not real, he is. The spear glowed bright. The illusion shattered into dust. The desert faded. The chamber returned, and a voice boomed around them. The heart speaks truth, you may pass. A new doorway appeared, glowing gold. Ryan exhaled deeply. That was the worst therapy session of my life. The dragon kid laughed weakly. You pass because of your heart. Ryan ruffled the child's head. Nah, I pass because you're too important to leave behind. The path to the final hall. They stepped through the golden doorway. Warm air brushed their faces. Soft lights guided their steps, but beneath the calm there was danger. In the distance something growled. Ryan held the spear tight. That's not thunder, right? The dragon kid's scales stiffened. No, that's the devourer. Ryan gulped. They reached a wide bridge stretching over a bottomless pit. The other side led to another massive gate. Then a roar so loud it shook the bridge. Ryan spun around and he saw it, the devourer, a beast made of shifting black smoke and bone-like armor, 6 glowing red eyes, mouth filled with spiraling teeth, huge claws scraping across the stone floor. It looked like a nightmare carved into flesh. Ryan whispered, Kid, on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad? 10, the kid whispered. Maybe 11. The devourer lunged. Ryan grabbed the kid and ran across the bridge as the creature charged behind them, breaking stone with every step. The dragonling screamed, "Ryan, faster." Ryan sprinted, lungs burning, heart pounding. The beast roared again and leapt, landing only a few feet behind them. The bridge cracked under its weight, pieces fell into the abyss. Ryan reached the far side and slammed into the ancient gate. It didn't open. "Oh, come on. Not another puzzle." The dragon kid placed its hand on the gate and shouted, "Open, please, for my people." The runes glowed faintly, but the devourer slammed into Ryan from behind. Ryan rolled, barely holding onto the spear. The kid screamed, "Ryan!" The devourer roared and lunged for the child. Ryan's body moved before his mind did. He jumped in front of the beast, and the creature's massive claw slashed across his back, throwing him to the ground. Pain exploded through his body. The dragon kid ran toward him. "Ryan, Ryan!" The devourer opened its giant mouth, preparing to devour them both. Ryan forced himself to his knees. He gripped the spear, his arms trembled, his vision blurred, but he stood, and he roared back at the devourer, "You can't have him." The spear ignited with blinding blue fire. Ryan charged. The devourer lunged. The two collided in a blast of burning light and dark energy. Ryan plunged the spear deep into the beast's chest. The creature shrieked, thrashing violently. The spear glowed brighter, brighter until the entire chamber exploded in blue light. Star the silence after the storm. When the light faded, the devourer was gone. Only ash remained. Ryan collapsed to the ground. Blood dripped from his back. He trembled uncontrollably. The dragon kid crawled to him, crying, "No, no, 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 Ryan, stay awake, please." Ryan forced his eyes open. "I'm not dead yet," he whispered. The kid sobbed. "You saved me again. Why do you keep risking yourself?" Ryan smiled weakly. "Because someone has to protect you, and I'm the idiot who volunteered." The kid hugged him tightly. The gate behind them glowed and opened by itself. A warm breeze drifted through. Ryan slowly stood, leaning on the spear. "Let's finish this." Star the last refuge inside the final chamber. Sunlight poured from a large opening above, illuminating a beautiful valley hidden beneath the desert. Trees, rivers, and glowing blue flowers swayed gently. It felt alive, untouched by war. Dragons big and small flew in the sky. The kid gasped. "My people, they survived." A large dragon descended gracefully, landing before them. Its scales shone like gold. Its voice echoed gently, "Child of our bloodline, welcome home." The kid's eyes flooded with tears, and the dragon looked at Ryan. "Human, you walked through fire, darkness, and death for our last heir." Ryan shrugged tiredly. "I do what I can." The dragon bowed. "We owe you a bond deeper than gratitude." A golden light lifted Ryan's body. His wounds closed, his strength returned. The spear glowed permanently. The dragon spoke, "From this day you are a guardian of the lost flame." Ryan blinked. "Does that come with free food?" The dragon laughed. "Yes, brave human, it does." The dragon kid hugged him tight. "Ryan, you're staying, right?" Ryan looked at the peaceful valley, the dragons, the light, the new life offered to him. He smiled. "I'm staying." Because he had finally found something worth protecting. Someone worth protecting. Star final scene hook for season 2. As Ryan and the kid walked deeper into the valley, a shadow passed over them. Another dragon landed, but its eyes were dark, its scales cracked. A voice hissed, "The hunters are not done. They have awakened something else." Ryan tightened his grip on the spear. "Oh great, here we go again."